All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we're going to talk about Errol Spence Jr. and Terence Crawford fight, and congratulations on the fight being made and to be announced soon. Statement by YORDENIS Ugas, and exactly why I don't think Dan Rayfield's announcement or Ugas's mean much at all. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon. We are back talking this boxing. In this video, we are going to continue to cover the biggest fight in boxing, or the most highly anticipated fight in boxing, and the most frustrating situation in boxing that, in my opinion, really does at this point demonstrate pretty much everything that's right in boxing and a whole lot about what's wrong in boxing at the same time. Now, before I get into that, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you're a longtime subscriber and supporter, thank you so much for your support for the channel. It really does mean a lot. Thank you for the support in the live streams that we do every day and in the videos that we do every day. Thank you. And if you're new to the channel, please accept my invitation to hit that subscribe button, hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos, which we do on a daily basis. If we're not talking about a specific subject in the video format, that's why we have a live stream every morning at 8 a.m. You guys can come ask your questions about all different varieties of questions about different weight classes or fights that aren't really covered in the mainstream media. This is a spot where you'll be able to talk about that. So please hit that subscribe button and join the community. All right, so let's get into this, man. First things first. I do not know whether or not this Errol Spence Jr. fight or Terence Crawford fight is going to take place or not. However, there have been a couple reports that have come out, or a couple of things that have been said that have gave people a lot of hope about the fight. First, yesterday, Dan Rayfield, who is used to be with ESPN News, is a very well-known boxing writer, is currently writing for more of a lesser known publication, but he had a story, wrote a story which said that sources close to the PBC that Dan Rayfield have say that they have agreed to, Terence Crawford and Errol Spence have agreed to a fight in either November 12th or November 19th, and they believe that it's going to be in Vegas, but they're still looking for a venue. Then YORDENIS Ugas, excellent welterweight fighter who just recently in his last fight lost a savage fight to Errol Spence Jr. for to unify the three for the WBC, the WBA, and the IBF belts. YORDENIS Ugas had previous to that had beaten Manny Pacquiao. Definitely a top level fighter. Said, congratulations, it's good to hear the fight is going to be announced. He said that he believed that, he was a part of it because, he at one point in time, again, was a welterweight champion. And so he feels connected to the fight, and congratulations, everything's right in boxing. Okay. Now, I've been reporting on this, not reporting on it, because again, I maintain I am not a media guy. I am not a journalist. I'm a boxing fan. So when I'm talking to you on this video, I feel as if my approach is that I'm talking to you one-on-one about what I've heard in the sport of boxing, and you can come into the comment section and do the same with me. Go to my DMs in either Twitter or Instagram, and you can message me there. More than likely, I'm going to get you. Between the two of those, we're going to be able to chop it up about boxing, man. That's what we do. So what we do here. So, I'll communicate the messages and talk about all the things that are going on. That doesn't necessarily mean that I believe one thing is going to happen or another thing is going to happen. Now, specifically as it applies to these statements, and having listened very, very closely to what everybody has been saying about this, none of that really means a lot to me. Steven Espinoza, and I said this in a video before, Steven Espinoza, who is the president of Showtime Sports, and if I messed up his title, please forgive me, but he runs Showtime Sports, right? Both the MMA productions and the boxing productions. He is control of that. He is the guy that runs that. So what he had said was that when as far as the negotiation with Terence Crawford, some issues they were closer to getting to conclusion to, other issues they were further away. So it's obvious from that statement that they are negotiating multiple issues at the same time, where if you have a laundry list of things that you need to come to an agreement with in order to make a fight, you may be hung up on one thing. But since you're hung up on one thing, you say, okay, well, let's address that. Let's see if we can knock the rest of these things out and then come back and address the problem, the main problem that we have, right? So you don't have to agree to one thing at a time. So the fact that they have narrowed down a potential date for the fight and narrowed down a potential location for the fight, really in the grand scheme of the negotiations doesn't mean a lot, because you could still very well have that money be an issue. Right. So, and that is what Steven Espinoza said about there being some issues, that there's a big gap. There's a big delta between where one person is and the other person, and some other issues where they're a lot closer, where they feel like they can wrap that up, which is why Steven Espinoza said that there's a better than 50-50 chance that they get done. And he said that he didn't say that more than 2 weeks ago. So what's the chances that all of those issues got wrapped up, tied up in a nice little bow, and the only thing that they have to decide is the November 12th and November 8th, and whether or not it's going to be an Allegiant, or whether it's going to be an MGM Grand, or whether it's going to be at AT&T Stadium. I say nothing from that. What Dan Rayfield said could be 100% true. Right? It could be 100% true. They could have agreed or agreed that it's going to be either November 12th or November 19th, and they're trying to figure out the venue and what it could be, right? And somebody could have very well told him that and said, yeah, and that's about, that's really kind of close, so we really feel like we're getting close on that. That doesn't mean that they've worked out that guaranteed money for Terence Crawford, right? Where you still have not 2 weeks ago, Terence Crawford's camp saying, hey man, why can't we get 50-50? Why can't we get, we deserve more money for the fight. At least that's what, people were leaking out of the camps, or right. So, for me, it's good that they make the progress on any particular issue. That's definitely good. But that does not mean that they're going to make the fight, because you can still have the big elephant in the room, which is Steven Espinoza's statement that, look, man, we're not going to pay Mayweather type of money for this, right? And when other people like Bob Arum, we can say what you want about Bob Arum, but he's definitely an expert on that situation, says, hey, the problem in this thing is going to be the money, right? They know what they're talking about, and that money could very well still be an issue. Hopefully they get past it, but nothing that either one of those reports tell me makes me really believe that, it's guaranteed that they did. And also, YORDENIS Ugas saying that, YORDENIS Ugas may be listening to the reports coming from Dan Rayfield and saying, oh man, I'm really happy to hear that it's close to, that it's going to be announced soon. Now, I hope that it gets announced soon, and I hope that Ugas has inside information on that, or whatever. But that doesn't necessarily mean that he does, because, he's with the PBC, but he's not in Errol Spence Jr.'s camp. He's not, talking to HBO. He's not talking to Steven Espinoza's probably not giving him updates, right? He's kind of on the outside like everybody else is, I would suspect. But anyway, that's my take on the matter. You let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Deuces.